Welcome to my channel. I've been putting this song off for a while because of the title, but it's time to do it. This is Ren with Diazepam. I'm a little bit concerned about what this is going to be, but we'll find out. But before we get to that, I have to thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for commenting. I so enjoy interacting in the comments with you. And I think, I don't know how to express it. I think you have assembled the most wonderful group of people from all over the world. And it's hard for me to understand how we can have this many wonderful people in one place, and yet the world can be in so much turmoil. I just don't understand that. But thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. So, let's watch Ren Diazapam.
Oh my, I seem to feel so much better when it kicks in. Chemical kitchen, feel my brain destruct. Oh, Diazepam me. Turn that volume down on my demons and he give me relief just for a second and he make it all so numb.
Oh, why, Diazepam, do you make me feel like everything's not dissolving? Spinning doors are revolving. Swallow a tablet, I'm overindulging. I've tried Diazepam to be the optimist and resist cards folding. You're the crutch that I'm holding. Don't want tomorrow, cause right now I'm golden.
Oh boy. This is an interesting subject for me because I'm not anti-medicine, but I am very cautious about putting medicine in my body. My wife, on the other hand, takes tons of it every day to deal with all of the issues that she has. But I just don't like taking medication. I will put off taking ibuprofen, for example, until I just can't stand the headache anymore. So I just don't like taking medication. And what was it he said there? I mean, it was like, I'm feeling good right now, so I don't want to stop it. Yeah. I think the medical profession, at least in the United States, I don't know worldwide, but at least in the United States, the medical profession grossly overprescribes far more medication than people need in order to deal with whatever issues they're dealing with. And it gets to the point, literally, where you can't even keep track of which meds you're taking. And I mean, I had this problem with my mother when she was up in years, but not too long before she died. And we actually, she made the decision to move from one location to another so that she could be closer to my brother, so someone could be around to take care of her. And at that time, we talked to her doctor, and we had him remove all of her medication and start over. I don't think they even really understand the interactions between these medications. And she actually improved greatly. And then she went back on some of the meds that she had to have, but it was less than the load that she had before. And it's it's an issue for me. It's a real issue. I know that, Ren was misdiagnosed, and I'm sure that they prescribed drugs for him just to, well, my sister's in the hospital right now. I got to talk about this because I can't stand it. My sister's in the hospital right now. She may be in rehab now, but she had a stroke followed by a heart attack. And I swear to God, she lives in Canada, and all I know about what's going on is what's being told to me by her significant other. And what she tells me leads me to believe that in the hospital, the way that they deal with my sister when she's being troublesome, when she's being difficult to deal with, they just give her meds. They tranquilize her, basically. And I think there's a lot of that goes on, and it's bad. It's really bad. The damage to the human body from that type of stuff is unknown. No one has ever really researched it, and it's a bad situation to be in. I wish there were a way that we could get treatments for diseases that had nothing to do with biologicals, like all the different drugs that they have. And I understand that drugs have done a lot of good things for people, but I think we've gotten carried away with it. Just my 2 cents.
Diazapam. Don't lie, Diazapam.
Oh, my. When you leave, why can't I breathe like you've stolen my very essence, my coding? Went for a swim and then drowned in your ocean.
Don't lie, Diazapam. You promised me the world.
Yeah. Went for a swim and died in your ocean? Yeah. That's a pretty perfect description.
Stolen my very essence, my coding. Went for a swim and then drowned in your ocean.
Don't lie, Diazepam. You promised me the world, but now I'm rotting and molding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what medication does. They promise you the world, and then reality is not quite that good.
Coding. Went for a swim and then drowned in your ocean.
Don't lie, Diazepam. You promised me the world, but now I'm rotting and molding. In my face it feels swollen. Anesthetic, I block that emotion.
Yeah, that's another side effect of a lot of drugs, is bloating, which is difficult to deal with. Man. Well, he certainly has the experience, doesn't he?
Lie, Diazepam. You promised me the world, but now I'm rotting and molding. In my face it feels swollen. Anesthetic, I block that emotion.
And that figure, this figure that's tumbling, that is, I mean, look at that. That's a perfect illustration of what drugs do to you. What was that? What was that? I missed it, I guess. Go back twice. can back it up just a hair. Ah, shoot. Okay. Wait a minute. Darn it. Here. Come on. Diazepam. Oh, if I could just go a hair back. First marketed in as Valium, is a medicine of the benzodiazepine family that typically produces a calming effect. Yeah, that's what it does. Yeah. Now, and see, I shouldn't have watched this video. I really shouldn't have. It's got me going. This is what far too many drugs do to you, is they put you in a state where you're not yourself anymore, where you don't really have control of your mind, and you don't really have control over your actions, your behavior, and you're in a state where you don't even know what's going on. That's what they've done to my sister in the hospital. Now, she's getting better now, and she's going to be leaving the hospital either today or tomorrow to go to rehab, so she's out of that phase. But my wife went through that, and it's horrific. It's horrific. My wife still has moments when she thinks about that time when she was in an induced coma from drugs, and the things that went through her mind and that she thought was going on that never occurred. And yet, well, I'll tell you what, I'll put it in the description too, but I'll also tell you about it. There is a website called icudelirium.org. icudelirium.org. It is a description of what happens to you when you get put under from an induced coma. In her case, it was fentanyl, which blew my mind because, you know, we hear about people dying from that drug every day. And I'm thinking, why are they giving her this? But it's to keep the, how do you put it? It's to suppress the conscious mind. And I guarantee you they do not know what that does to you. If you read and you watch some of the videos on icudelirium.org, you will find out that these drugs that they use to put people in comas have really terrifying effects on them. I'll just give you a couple of examples. There was a woman who was pregnant, and she went into what's called sepsis, which is an kind of an infection of the whole body that's really, really dangerous. It can kill you very easily. And so they put her into an induced coma for, I think it was 3 days, while they dealt with the infection. They saved her life. There's no question about that. They did that. But when you're in a coma, you have no control over your bodily functions. And so they use things to, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a apparatus that they overlay on the vagina to capture urine. And it has a constant suction on it. So if the patient urinates, the urine just gets sucked away through this tube and gets collected into a container. And of course, they do tests on that, and they measure the amount so that they know what's going on with her body. But this particular woman was convinced that somebody in the hospital had raped her. And it took her over 1.5 years to get over that trauma. That's what it is. It's trauma. And I understand what was going on, because when they catheterize you, they have to change the catheter every, I think it's every 24 hours, might be every 12 hours, and it has to be sanitary. Otherwise, you can get infections. And so they have to change it, and they have to clean that area. And that action of changing and cleaning acted on her mind while she was unconscious, mind you, completely unaware of what's going on, supposedly, acted on her mind in such a way that she was convinced she had been raped. There was another woman, and I'm just going to give you two. Go to icudelirium.org and watch the videos. It will terrify you. It will anger you like it did me. Because no one at the hospital told me about this. I had to find it out on my own. This second woman I wanted to tell you about was a professional accountant. And after being in an induced coma, and I don't remember how long it was, but it was a lengthy period of time, she was unable to do math, so she had to retire because she couldn't do her job. Now you think about that for a minute. What in the world is going on in your brain when those drugs are being pumped into you through an IV that's causing you to have these crazy visions and hallucinations and ideas, and causing you to lose the abilities that you have to think properly? It has to be doing damage to the brain. My wife couldn't tell time when she came out of the coma. She could look at a clock and she could not tell you what time it was. She'd make something up, but it wasn't what time it was. And it took her a couple months before she was able to tell time correctly again. This is the reason why I am so reticent to have any drugs at all put into my body, because I swear to you, I mean the professionals, they do not know what the real side effects are. They do not understand completely what impact these drugs have on your body. And they use them because they're helpful and they're beneficial, but they have side effects and they don't know what they are, and they're not aware of them.
Synesthetic dreaming, I'm carried away. Anesthetic bleeding, a place for the pain. Self-destructive healing is one and the same. Oh, Diazapam. Synesthetic dreaming, I'm carried away. Anesthetic bleeding, a place for the pain. Self-destructive healing is one and the same. Don't lie, Diazepam. Diazepam. Synesthetic dreaming, I'm carried away. Anesthetic bleeding, a place for the pain. Self-destructive healing is one and the same.
Man, I'm sorry for running on so long, but it really concerns me what I consider the excessive use of pharmaceuticals, at least in America. I don't know about other countries. I suspect it's the same in most modern countries like Britain and Germany and France and those kinds of places. Maybe not so much in some of the what are derisively called third world countries. But, you know, if you can avoid taking drugs, I highly recommend that you do. If you can avoid it. If it's absolutely necessary for your survival, then yes, take them, because the alternative is worse. But, man, I'm telling you, And the pharmaceutical industry, well, don't even get me started on them. My God, look at the billions and billions and billions of dollars they made off of their COVID vaccines. And look at how much damage has been done to people because of them. It's just, yeah, it helped probably 98% of the people that took it. But that other 2%, they are suffering. I have a brother who's suffering from long COVID right now. There are always two sides to every coin. And for all the pluses that there are with pharmaceuticals, there are minuses that they do not want to talk about, and they do not want to acknowledge, and they do not want you to discuss. And, well, now you see why I put off doing this song for so long. But thank you for suggesting it. I'm glad. I am really glad I did watch it. It triggered some thoughts that might be helpful to somebody. And for you, I pray that you will live an abundant life, that you'll never have to take drugs, that you'll be healthy, you'll live a long time, and that God will keep you safe from harm. I pray the same for every person that you love. And I pray that you will be anxious for nothing, but in all things, through prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, you'll make your requests known to God. And the peace that passes all understanding will keep your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. This is the Vietnam Era Vet out.